Today we will be exploring the understanding of how language forms and techniques connect qualities, motivations, and actions, and how they have broadened my understanding. I will reference the Crucible in Red Dead Redemption 2. Beginning with the Crucible, an allegory itself for 1950s McCarthyism Red Scare, the Crucible is presented as a theatrical play to connect the audience to its emotional conflicts and moral dilemmas in an impactful setting, utilizing language forms and theatrical techniques to do so. In its characters and plot, the Crucible explores qualities, motivations, and actions as seen below. Abigail Williams' qualities of selfishness and jealousy fuel her motivation for power and influence, initially for self-preservation but evolving into vengeance, leading to manipulative actions shown in the false accusations towards others. Her language reflects her drive for power.
Let anyone breathe a word, or the edge of a word about the other things, and I will come to you in the black of some terrible night, and I will bring with me a pointy reckoning that will shudder you.
Abigail delivers the line in a hushed and threatening way, highlighting her desperation for control, which stems from her selfish, jealous qualities. Her quiet tone being used as foreshadowing to hint towards her secret future actions of false accusation. Violent imagery was used to reinforce her motivation for control and setting the stage for her manipulative actions, exhibiting the extent of the relationship between her motivations and actions, stemming from her qualities of selfish jealousy. Comparably, Mary Warren's actions are motivated by fear, a quality that stems from her motivation to survive in the face of mounting accusations. She executes similar actions of false accusation against John Proctor,
You're the devil's man!
doing so not out of malice but out of survival instinct. This is presented by her shaky, panicked delivery, displaying her fear and motivation to survive. Dramatic irony is used as the audience knows it is a false accusation, doing it so out of fear of being targeted, which by using dramatic irony adds complexity to the relationship between her qualities, motivations, and actions. Mary mirrors Abigail's use of biblical allusion in order to fit in with her group, illustrating how fear drives her actions of false accusation, leading to betrayal of John despite her initial moral qualms. In contrast, John Proctor holds qualities of guilt and regret for his affair, and is motivated by the need to redeem himself. His internal moral struggle is evident in the line,
"My honest is broke. Nothing spoiled giving them this lie that we're not rotten long before."
Here, Proctor's guilt is exposed by his slumped posture, avoiding eye contact, and Elizabeth being the only one present, showing how she is a mirror and catalyst for John's guilt, redemption, and sacrifice altogether. By using irony, his willingness to commit a morally questionable act in Puritan culture, lying, reveals his motivation to redeem himself by saving his wife Elizabeth, ultimately using this ironic act to redeem his soul, connecting his qualities, motivation, and actions in his final sacrifice. Reverend Parris's paranoia drives his motivation to protect his reputation in Salem, leading him to betray his own morals to maintain influence, influencing actions of forcing innocents to confess, such as Tituba.
You will confess yourself, Tituba! I will take you out and whip you to your death!
Violent imagery is used to refer back to his paranoia and motivation to maintain his image, causing actions against purist morals. Using the use of space, Paris towers in Tituba's proximity, exhibiting how his qualities and motivations lead him to betray his own Puritan morals against violence. Red Dead Redemption 2 is an adventure game set in 1899, the decline of the Western era, following gunslinger Arthur Morgan, a member of the Dutch Van der Linde gang. As society changes, Arthur struggles with his loyalty, his guilt over past actions, and a desire for redemption. It was designed as a scene-heavy game, presenting the plot like a film, though was created as a video game to allow the player audience to experience the characters' qualities, motivations, and actions firsthand, creating a deeper emotional connection between the characters, world, and the player audience. Throughout the gameplay, Red Dead Redemption explores qualities, motivations, and actions as seen below. Van der Linde's greed and paranoia drives his motivations, which become increasingly clear as the game progresses. His greed for wealth and power leads him to reckless heists, endangering his gang. Dutch's language emphasizes this, using repetition.
I have a plan. Leave the planning to me. Faith, Arthur. Have some goddamn faith!
Dutch's commanding delivery during moments of tension connect his qualities to his motivation to maintain influence over the others, using their current vulnerable mindset to his advantage. But the irony here is clear. This verbal repetition contrasts his confidence and underlying insecurities and paranoia. Repetition is used to explore the link between his self-paranoia and his motivation for influence and power. As his paranoia grows, Dutch betrays his morals, accusing close allies like Arthur of betrayal.
I expect you'll betray me in the end, Arthur. You're the type.
This line uses ironic juxtaposition, showing how Dutch claims to care for Arthur while expecting his betrayal, also foreshadowing Dutch's betrayal of Arthur, revealing how paranoia fuels his motivations and actions of betrayal against his own moral code. The connection between qualities, motivation, and actions is also evident in the gang's loyalty to Dutch. Arthur's own loyalty to Dutch and the gang drives him to take morally questionable actions.
Nothing means more to me than this gang, the bond we share. It's the most real thing to me. I would kill for it, I would happily die for it.
Emotive language is used to show that his strong sense of belonging motivates him to make morally questionable decisions to maintain the gang's bond. A tense, almost threatening delivery when he mentions he would kill for the gang is used to connect his qualities and motivations back to his immoral actions. The repetition of "I would" highlights Arthur's deep commitment, linking loyalty to his need for belonging. The juxtaposition of dying for loyalty versus killing for it shows Arthur's need to belong drives immoral actions, though ultimately leading to his redemption. Arthur's shift from loyal gang member to seeking redemption highlights the link between his qualities, motivation, and actions. His growing guilt and need for redemption are evident.
I've done some bad things, but I believe there's good in me too.
The antithesis of past wrongdoing and the hope for redemption was used to highlight his internal conflict and evolving self-view. This tension between regret and moral aspiration drives his motivation for redemption, shaping his actions. His dialogue reinforces this struggle, with reflective statements foreshadowing his self-sacrifice. Through this linguistic pattern, his remorse is not only expressed but actively influences his decision to risk everything for Drum Marston and his family, demonstrating how his internal transformation translates into decisive altruistic action. Nearing the game's end, Arthur meets Seer Soothsayer, who reveals his prophecy.
This is now the time of machines, the time of things, the time of man came and went as all things pass.
The line is delivered in a dramatic, almost theatrical way, to create an ominous feeling that connects with Arthur's fear of change. A changing society fuels his desire for freedom, driving his rebellion against modernity. Prophecy contrasts the time of machines with the time of man, emphasizing industrial progress overshadowing human agency. Personifying machines as authoritative reinforces Arthur's view of industrialization as an oppressive force. Soothsayer reinforces this idea.
And this is modernity, in all its foulness, smoke, lies, hatred, and not much else.
The line is delivered in the specific setting of St. Denis, the most modern city in the game, and the one area Arthur primarily avoids. This was implemented to further communicate Arthur's connection between his qualities of fear and change, his motivation of freedom, to his actions of rebelling against this modern society. Using diction to describe modernity as foul subverts its usual connotations, evoking corruption and decay. The imagery of smoke, lies, and hatred paints a dystopian vision, reflecting Arthur's disillusionment. Soothsayer channels Arthur's inner struggle, externalizing his fears and linking his qualities, motivations, and actions. Visual, delivery, and language techniques in Red Dead Redemption 2 reinforce my understanding of how qualities, motivations, and actions shaped character evolution as previously seen in the Crucible, showing how each of those elements influence the others to aid characters' evolution and being into the story. Overall, the experience of studying these texts have deepened my understanding of how human qualities, motivations, and actions are connected. In the Crucible, Abigail's violent imagery reveals her qualities and motivation for power, foreshadowing her actions and connecting it to the nature of the plot and the world. Similarly, in Red Dead Redemption 2, Arthur's guilt and regret drive his motivation for redemption, leading to his sacrifice, helping immerse the player audience into the story's themes and ideas. These explorations as a whole has reshaped my view of how intrinsic qualities shape motivations, actions, and ultimately, their fate.